scary. My job is to make you, as an educator, make you very uncomfortable when you leave this place. I'm going to make you very uncomfortable about where we are. Okay. So what this slide is showing you on the x-axis is timeline. Okay, just watch the timeline. I'm talking about almost since I started going to school all the way to where we are today. Okay, so 1996 and then 2027 we are approaching. And on the y-axis, we have number of transistors which are put inside the chip. Okay, and if you see here, okay, this is where we are. This is the technology where we are right now, 180 nanometer. And that's where the world was in 1999. When I said, I'm making you uncomfortable, that's where we are today in India. Okay, and with all the stuff that's happening right now, yeah, maybe that's better. So with all, is it working? Yeah. Okay, with all the stuff that's happening right now, where are we going? We have made in India chips program, everything is going on. This is where we're going to go. Okay, about 3 to 4 years from now. And where the world is, you can see where the world is. 3.5 nanometer technology, that's where the world is. It's a good step because we got stuck here for a very, very long time. Let me put it this way. Okay, so the earlier approach, let's not get into all the stuff which happened before because we don't have that much time. But lots of things came into play. Lots of bad things happened at the same time, and as a result of which we got messed up. Okay, because we were in 1985, we were at the same place where Taiwan was. Imagine that. Okay, where Taiwan was, and now we lost that race. We got stuck there in 1985. We are still at 180 nanometer technology, and the world has gone past. Now let's see what's also COVID time. Everybody knows what happened during COVID. Basically, our car sector got hurt. So $200 billion plus were lost in revenues because we didn't have chips. And I think that's when it was a huge wake-up call for national security. And we said that, we got to do this on our own. Okay, so that's when all this engagement that has happened. So the new Fab India, I like to call it, that's coming into play. Basically, there is full government thrust behind the semiconductor program. We are going to, the way we are going at it, I got to give it to our government in a positive way that we are doing it a little bit differently. Okay, it's more about a sustainable ecosystem that we are developing, not just chips. Okay, so there's a holistic design, manufacturing, and assembly that we are going after. So, in a way, we are in 1985. Imagine that, right? That's what we are in. This is our Taiwan moment, and hopefully, we have yet another exponential when we go forward. Okay, so design in India. Okay, what I showed you about is how do you manufacture this chip, but designing is yet another ballgame. And that's the domain I'm part of. How do you design chips? And that's what I've been doing all my life. So let me tell you all about it. So about 20% of the world's designers, engineers, okay, they are from India. Remember that. In the entire world, the chips are being designed by 20% Indian designers. Okay, so 3,000 chips are designed every year by about 30,000 designers. It's a very select commodity. They make a lot of money. Okay, I did at one point. But then the IP ownership. So lots of companies are there in India which are doing chips there. But then the IP ownership, whatever they are doing, is still with the mothership, multinational companies which are there. So nothing stays here. We are just used. Our bodies are being used. Our brains are being used. But the money doesn't stay here. Okay, the spirit is taken by somebody else. So that's what I try to make people uncomfortable, especially by class. Okay, so these MNCs which are there, and all of you are happy when your kids are married to somebody who works there. You say, oh, great, you're working at Qualcomm, great, awesome. But when you talk about Indian startups, you're very, you're worried. So I'm just trying to, tell you that that's not good. So there are many Indian companies are coming which are in this space. Signal Chip, Sankhya Lab, Moss Chip, and these are all doing things for India, for our markets. Okay, so this is the positive change which is happening in last few years. And super skilled designers, not just from IIT but from other institutes, are also coming up. Okay, so we have a positive story. The positive story that we got as India is we have people who are hungry or willing to work. Okay, whereas other places, you go to Japan, you go to Taiwan, they don't want to work. I'm too tired. Okay, because they have made enough money. So we have a population who's very hungry to do all these things. Now, going from that, I want to kind of change the gears to tell you, like Mahesh did, about this lab to startup. How does this really work, right? For us, something. So I'm going to share my story with you, and hopefully that'll be exciting for you. So when I came back to India as a professor, I got a call from ministry saying that, hey, they volunteered me for some project. And I said, okay, all right. I mean, if you say so, I'll do it, right? And then the project was as follows. The project was about global navigation system. Okay, so everybody uses GPS, right? All of you know GPS. Now the GPS is basically it works because of the satellites on in space, right? Now there are so many systems all over the world, different satellites which are being used. Unfortunately, India didn't have satellites, its own satellites. So when Kargil war happened, right, we were at a disadvantage because we were denied access because of obvious reasons. We were not given access, and we were kind of fighting blind, let me put it this way. So, of course, India was very upset. So ISRO said, nothing doing, we'll send our own satellites. So we send the satellites, and that satellite system is called NavIC. Okay, so NavIC is Indian satellite constellation. Now the satellite system is there, but there is no chip which can decode those signals. And that was what I was volunteered to do. Okay, you shall design something for NavIC. That was the project that was given to us. So, and basically the way it works is there are satellites in space which are hovering around India, and you have to receive the signals from those satellites. And by receiving the signals, you can kind of tell where you are on the Earth in the simplistic manner. Okay, so that's what is going on. Now, what happened is we kind of came late to the party. Because we were kind of at the tail end. So we got something which was like a very disadvantageous spectrum. And now you can see the disadvantageous meaning we are at the beginning and at the end of the spectrum. So what that did was none of our stuff was compatible with everybody else in the world. Okay, so everybody else was happy. China is happy, Russia is happy, Japan is happy, US is happy, because their stuff lies right in the middle. And this is a tough problem to solve. Okay, so what we decided to do, we were asked to do just do it for India. I said, no, we won't do it for India, because that's a simple problem. I wanted to make things complicated for my students. So we said, we will do it for everyone. We will develop one chip. One chip should be able to do the entire worldwide spectrum. And nothing exists like that right now. Okay, so that's what we did. The challenge was basically we wanted a single chip. Chip means that tiny piece of silicon, and then it should work for everyone, and then it's fully integrated, meaning there are no external parts, so it's tiny. That's what we do. And then it's programmable, which means that with a flick of like a command, it should go to China, it should be able to go everywhere. That doesn't happen in real life. Okay, so we were able to make it happen. And then we wanted best-in-class performance, not just the performance, but it has to be easy to use. Also, it has to be like a product. It should not be a science project. That's what I set out to do with my students. So many students worked on this. Okay, I just wanted to show you, because this is the slide that I love the most. Okay, these are all my babies. And so when we started, I was a single person who just came from US and working, and I was teaching all these students how to do all these things. And generally the chip, it's a rule of thumb, right? Each chip takes about 9 months, just like all other things in the world, right? 9 months. Remember the 9 months. In our case, it took us 18 months because I needed to train all the students to do all these things. Okay, so these are all my students. One of them is right here. Ajinkya, give him a big hand. Okay, he's my PhD students, soon to graduate soon. Okay, so we developed this chip. This chip is, if you can see the dimension, it's 1.8 millimeters. Okay, 1.8 millimeters by 1.8 millimeters. And this chip, the first chip that went out, fabricated, came back, worked the first time. And we met all the specifications. ISRO was very happy, government was very happy, so we were able to receive all the different band signals, etc. And here you can see the working demonstration. This is our electrical engineering building, I think. And then on the top, what we are seeing is the GPS signal, which is global positioning by US. And on the bottom, you can see the Indian satellites. So that's kind of an interesting thing, right? We can see all the satellites with the same system. It's called Dhruva. So that's the story of the chip. ICAS lab is lab where I work. And from this chip, we started a company called Mumbai Semiconductors. Now that semiconductor company, we are basically working in this space, and we have decent amount of funding. About 6 to 7 people are working there. We are growing. And it's a very exciting place to be. It's just like Mahesh, our company is also in Sign, incubated over there, so I can always go and watch what's going on there. Basically, as a summarize, right, I wanted to tell you the India chip story is just beginning right now. And, just be aware of what's going on over here and, watch how we are doing in this space. Hopefully, you'll remember me, what I'm telling you here. So the thing, I generally do this talk for universities where there is a diverse population, right? And diverse set of parents, and you are some of the parents. So many of you are so fascinated by AI, right? I wanted to break your heart right now. Okay, so don't be so fascinated about AI. These fabs, whatever is necessary, they need all sorts of engineers. Don't just latch on to computer science, electrical engineering. Everything is valuable. And that's the message I want to give you is, encourage whoever is within your sphere of influence. Let them do what they want to do, not just focus on some programming. ये थोड़ा prompt engineering कर लिए, वो सब मत करो, because उसका कोई अभी ज्यादा value नहीं है, क्योंकि सब कुछ वही करने वाला है. So you have to do something what AI cannot do. It's the message I would like to give you. Engineers for all core disciplines. I mean, if you go to Dholera Fab, right, you will see it's like, look at this particular place. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, a place like Geo World Convention Center was unimaginable in India. The place like Mumbai Airport or Bangalore Airport was unimaginable. So we are getting there. Our fabs are going to be also like that. So we got to be proud of our heritage. I think if we all kind of think in the right direction, I think we can make it happen. Okay, the future is bright. As I say to all the people, is we have to light the fires now. It's never late. And then what can you do? And this is the advice again to your kids. Is just stick around. You have to be here, stay here in India, and basically be part of the next big thing. And it's coming. It's not going away. Okay, thank you. So as a shameless plug, right? Go back, please. Just the last piece. Where is it? Last slide, huh? So the shameless plug, as I like to say it, I do something called Chip Story. Okay, so if you look up Chip Story on YouTube, you will see. It's like I did it for class and it became very popular. And a lot of people were excited because they got to know about chips and how this thing works. My father, he's 88-year-old, and he has seen the entire thing, and he asked me a lot of tough questions. So you will enjoy this if you want to hear about it. Chip Story. Thank you.
Indeed, an interesting session with you, Professor Zele. Thank you so much. We will remember Chip Story. I would like to take this opportunity. Professor Chintamaneni needs to rush back. So, ma'am, please come on dais. And may I request, please come, ma'am. And may I request Professor Prasad to kindly felicitate ma'am. Professor Prasad from the academic wing, ICFI group. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We would like to move on to the presentation of Professor Mukesh Saini, Co-Project Director, Annam.ai, IIT Ropar.
Are you able to find it?
Professor, yes, from IIT Ropar. You don't get it?
Okay, yeah.
Sir, is it? Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. I'm from IIT Roper. So I'll also introduce IIT Roper. IIT Roper is actually closest IIT to a metro city, Chandigarh. We are 40 kilometers from Chandigarh. And this is in contrast to many other IITs like IIT Hyderabad, which is 65 kilometers from Hyderabad city. So IIT Roper is very close to Chandigarh city. And I'm Kesani, as I was introduced. I'm project co-director of Annam.ai. It is a center of excellence in AI for agriculture, and it is one of the three centers of excellences which were awarded by Ministry of Education. And the philosophy was very interesting because I attended all those events that some of the projects, they go in R&D mode, and faculty, they explore some innovative things. These projects, especially like Annam.ai, this was in mission mode. So they gave us four problems and opened it to all IITs, whole India. They gave 2 years. That in 2 years you develop, you make a solution. We don't care about R&D. We don't care about research. You build products, and whoever builds best products will award the project to them. And I'm very happy to share that IIT Roper were able to propose for projects, and we were able to convert them into very working prototypes, and that's how we were awarded this. And in this mission, we got to work on around 13 to 14 projects. We can't expand the project list. We have to stay fixated on those projects. And I'm again, very happy and proud to say that one of the products is already scaled. It is being used throughout India. Currently, this is one of the weather stations which we designed. Currently, in India, we have more weather stations by IIT Roper Annam.ai than IMD. And we have been awarded for our academic to technology conversion at many platforms. And we do realize our Sri Narendra Modi ji's vision of building in India. So in later slides, I'll explain how we are focusing on building things in India. So these are the three main themes on which we are working at Annam.ai. So the very first thing is sensing this sensing infrastructure, because we have to get some data from farms and agriculture land. So in this under this theme, we are working on a very smart and accurate weather station, sensors to capture the behavior of animals, and sensors to uh, to get the phenotypical characteristics of the plants. Some of them I'll describe in my later slides. So once we get this sensory data, we do intelligence on it. We run machine learning models on it. And trust me, if you go beyond Kaggle data sets, in agriculture, there are a lot of challenges. I give you a very concrete example. A, a potato plant of 2 weeks looks entirely different from a potato plant of 12 weeks. Same is wheat. Wheat in 12th week and 16th week, they look entirely different. So there is a lot of drift and many challenges that you have to address in order to do the analysis. Finally, we get some useful insights for the farmers. So there is this engagement layer. We exploit this whole boom of large language models. So we address the challenges of multiple languages, multiple dialects, audio to text, all these in this engagement layer. So now I'll go one by one to one of each of these themes and discuss some important features. So this is our weather station, very accurate weather station, which is a mature technology. It is being used, and I say it is mature because it is being purchased by private industry. So Blinkit is buying from us, and when I say it is our technology, the PCB was designed in-house in IIT Roper. The wireless module was designed in IIT Roper. The first prototype, complete prototype, every plastic material, everything was designed at IIT Roper, and we made prototypes, we made commercial products, and we started selling. At that point, government interfered that, why are you doing it? You give it to some third company. So we gave non-exclusive license to SS Micro, who are producing it and scaling it across India. And this weather station is certified by IMD. It is the most accurate weather station in India right now. And this kind of accurate hyperlocal weather information is required for building effective crop or farmer advisories. The second, in Krishi Intelligence, so again, because the project has come from government, they want immediate solutions which can be used by farmers. So the government says farmers have phone. So in this, most of our solutions, they are related to images that can be taken by a mobile phone. So in this, we are doing pest and disease monitoring, whether the plants have pest and disease or not. We are doing crop identification, crop damage detection, and crop growth modeling. Here also there is interesting story. So these solutions, you can categorize in two parts. First set of solutions was government's personal requirement that we don't trust farmers or surveyors. They go, we even have images where they take buffalo photo and they say there is a wheat farm, very mature, very healthy, and it got damaged. And at these surveys, they are at such a large scale that manual inspection is not possible. Government showed us all this data. So we built this crop identification module where if my AI model says that this is a image of wheat farm in 4th week, then it is indeed accurate information. There is a farm at that location and there is a wheat which is healthy and which is in 5th week. So, and this people were also uploading picture of picture. It identifies all that. People are uploading images of sky or non-crops. It is also identifying all these. So this is a very accurate model which is able to bridge this trust deficit between farmer and government. And this crop identification module, currently it is the best in the world. There is no model that, so it has an accuracy of 99.9. Now, you will see in even our BTech students do projects, they come up with accuracy of 99.5, 99.4. I say that this is best in the world because this model has been trained and tested on 4 million images taken across 10 states. And those images were taken by 112 farmers. On field, we have not had even a single mistake from our system. But when people use Google and deform the images, maybe some minute errors come, like barley and wheat in very low early stages, it makes a mistake. So this is one of the best in the world. And for pest and disease, getting data was very difficult. So here, you must have heard of this whole boom of generative AI. What we did, we created models of the pest across different stages, and we had 4 million crop images. So we took pest, we took crop, and we used real-time implanting. So there's this diffusion models, they do very realistic implanting. These are behind all generative videos and images. So with that, farmers gave us scenarios that pests can be very small, it can be on the leaf, it can be on the stem, it can be on the soil. We input all these scenarios and we created synthetic data of 1 million images. We trained our model on that and then fine-tuned on actual pest data. It works really nice for 26 pests with 98% of the accuracy. For disease, again, the disease symptoms are very diverse. For same disease, you may have different symptoms. So we wanted our model to focus on disease only. It should understand the crops in the background and focus on disease. So for that, again, we leveraged our 4 million data set of crops. We trained a foundational model. Did not see any disease. So foundational model now understands all the crops. Like a person staying in China for 1 year understands all Chinese people. Now we introduce disease to it. It does very accurate disease detection. Again, around 98% of the accuracy. Crop damage, again, had data problem that damages could be because of anything, rain, hailstorm, animal invasion, nutrient deficiency. So it was a challenge for us. How do we calculate damage? Because government gets a report that 30% damage, it is done by a person. And there is a manual decision and you may see the problems there. So here, we had this normal crop data. We modeled a AI model that will identify how the crop should look like normally. And whichever region it was not normal for like 5th week, this is how not how the crop should look like. That was the damaged part. So our AI model gives that there is 40% of the loss in this crop, and we tested it in a crop, this wheat lodging, because this year we had rain at a very bad time when we were harvesting wheat. We tested it in wheat lodging, and the results were very promising. I cannot say accuracy or error because this damage definition itself is vague. It's not very clear. Government is still not able to define very accurately what do they call as damage. Eventually, we are putting everything in a 3D digital twin of crops where this all will be integrated. We put a seed in the soil, and you start a seed in our software also that will grow in 3D with all these numbers, with all these capabilities. And being anywhere in the world, you will be able to monitor and visit your farm. So, and these all 4 technologies are deployed and they are running. They are in pre-pilot mode. Our crop identification, it has been adopted by Digital Crop Survey of Punjab Agriculture, but other 3 technologies, they are only shared with main stakeholders like government and all who are assessing it. So I'm just calling them in pre-pilot mode. So this is our data. Every day we are getting around 30,000 images as per our SOC from all over India. And finally, we have this engagement layer where our chat engines, they provide crop advisories to the farmers. And you can try Gemini, you can try any AI tool. You can input your crop problem or any pest problem. You'll get some advisory. These advisories, they have some uncertainty. Some uncertainty is really dangerous for farmers. They don't trust it. So we have built a framework in which we get these advisories. Once we get a question from the farmers, we get these advisories, and these advisories, when such questions comes for the first time, these advisories are reviewed by 4 to 5 experts independently at different locations. Once this is verified, it goes to a gold standard, which means that if any other advisory comes in the future, and if it matches gold standard, one of the questions in our gold standard, then we can reliably recommend to the farmers. If not, then you get whatever advisory you get a confidence score that this is your advisory, but it is not verified. Because we have been using that in the state of Punjab, we have started it. Our gold standard is growing with time, which is customized, which is very specific to the farmer, which is very specific to our Indian requirements. And these are some additional pillars on which Annam.ai is working, because we have been working, we got Technology Innovation Hub also for working in agriculture field. IIT Roper is the only IIT that has a BTech program in digital agriculture. We have major program in precision agriculture. There are many agriculture related initiatives. Because of that, we have students and researchers working across all these domains. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Saini. We will move on to the next presentation by Professor Manjesh Hanawal, Associate Professor of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, IIT Bombay.
Okay, while the slides are getting uploaded, I'll get started. I see that we are running late. I hope I will try to make up for some of the lost time. So myself, I'm a faculty in the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research. And I'm also a professor in charge of one of the center called Technocraft Center for Applied Artificial Intelligence. As you see, the name itself, like, we are more focused on the applied aspects of the artificial intelligence, and most of the projects are driven by this theme. How to do this? Okay, just quick So this Technocraft Center works with a mission to create an ecosystem to enable academia and industry sectors to leverage the benefits of AI. And right now, currently, I'm holding the professor in charge, and we have a dedicated program director for this who looks into various aspects of the project. So we are focused on these 4 pillars: government and defense, industry partnership, research and development, and training. What I plan to do is like quickly run you through what kind of programs we are running, what kind of projects we are running. And in fact, we are running a wide variety of projects, and AI is now kind of touches everything, right? So we are into these domains. One is on the intelligence networks, at the networks. Networks could be 5G networks, 6G networks, or the computer networks. And the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is also one of the important domain where AI is now going to play a critical role. Now, AR, VR technologies, lot of AI is coming into that. And then medical informatics, and this is something, lot of data crunching and analysis need to be done. And defense innovation. Now we are also building many tools for defense, again using AI and optimization techniques. And digital transformation. This is very something close to us. Lot of government agencies are going through this transformation of AI tool to do a lot of automation and expedite their efficiencies. And other thing we are looking into is a digital twin, again, which leverages a lot of AI techniques in this. I want to just touch upon one of, a major project in each of this domain. On the intelligent network, we have many government-funded projects through Department of Telecom and METI. So one of the project is about the telecom security. As we know, in India, we still don't manufacture any telecom equipments. We have a very good service providers like Jio, Airtel and all, but all their equipments are still important. So what is the guarantee that we are using their devices, none of our data goes out? So security becomes a very crucial thing. And at IIT Bombay, we provide all the security guidelines this equipment should pass. And based on our guidelines, the Department of Telecom has put up a compliance requirement that all the telecom equipments that go into our network, they have to pass through this compliance. On the cybersecurity, which I'm going to talk about more, we have this Vajra endpoint security tool, which is like a cybersecurity tool, which is indigenously built to protect our digital infrastructure, to making sure that our softwares, the activities we do on the internet remain same and none of our data is stolen. On the smart XR, yeah, there are many projects like, we are building a lab where we can visualize and build new application using AR and VR techniques. And medical information is, again, we are trying to collect a lot of data and also generate data in a synthetic way so that we can build nice algorithms. So one of the things which is very interesting to us is, all these patents, right? Like patents are applied on some new drugs. And the moment the patent expires, you are free to manufacture them. But now what is the guarantee that the other guy who is going to produce that, he matches as per the original drug? Is there a possibility to detect, like somebody can make it, okay, and sell it as a original drug? Now we actually develop a tool using AI, what is called as a biosimilarity. If you give me a drug, 2 drugs, we are going to compare and say, are they actually the original drugs, or is there any small difference in them which can make them slightly different? And this kind of tools can be very important from the regulation point of view. If somebody is trying to make a drug and claim it to be the original, what kind of guarantee they can provide? And now on the defense innovation, yes, we have many different projects. We have been building tools for Indian Navy to optimize their logistics in the Indian Ocean. Okay, I will not get into this much. This digital transformation, I want to highlight the last 2 projects. Now AI is coming. One of the things we are doing for BMC is digitization of the birth record. And this is what the Maharashtra government also came to us and said, see, the SIR is likely to come to Maharashtra also soon. It has happened in other states. Now, when SIR is supposed to happen, our birth records are very important. Now, I think from 1956 and between 1982, these records are still handwritten. None of them are in digital format. So now the first task is to get all them digitized. Now, okay, this looks like a simple task. No, this actually is a complex task because many things are handwritten. We have a scanned document. Things are randomly marked. Man, somebody may also say, why not? Like we have so many AI tools now to do this. But again, lot of manual interventions required. When we have to do this, we have to make sure that each record is properly captured. This is where we try to build an entire agentic flow system so that, okay, OCR scan happens, language detection happens, auto correction happens, digital uploading of the things happens. All these things are automated by the agents so that the things are done at a scale and with a much, much higher efficiency. Other thing we are doing it is for Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited. This is again related to the tendering process. We know lot of inefficiency creeps in the government process because of the tendering process. When a large scale tendering happens, many people bid, then they have to be reviewed. Any issues that non-compliance issue has to be raised. We have to keep on answering. This process itself keeps the agencies engaged for 6 to 8 months often. Drafting the letter itself becomes a complicated thing. Now, how we can automate this process? This is where, again, the entire agentic flow system comes into picture. Okay, you have uploaded the document. When people submit the bids, let the AIs look into that and look for any compliances. Are they meeting all my compliances or not? If not, prepare an automated draft, send them, take their responses, and then see them comply. If not, then ask them submit to this document. In that way, we are trying to reduce these manual interventions. And usually these manual interventions are very, very routine, but they take a much longer time. By cut-shorting this, we are going to automate this entire tendering process, which can significantly maybe reduce our procurement time and expedite our projects. Okay, now these are the various things. Now I want to highlight these 2 projects, which are also now gone up in the startup mode through the center. One is Vajra and one is MS Games. This Vajra is a cybersecurity tool, and this is a core tech. This is, I would also call a deep tech, because this is what needs one to get into the operating system level and look for any security monitoring. The second one is about education. We being in academia, we also need to do something from the academic community. And the MS Games is a simulation tool to study management aspects. And this MS Games, what we are trying to build as a substitute for Harvard Business School's simulation tools, which are actually widely used across the globe. I want to quickly give a brief of each one of them. Vajra, it's an indigenous tool for cybersecurity to secure endpoints. Maybe I'll just quick there. Okay. All of you know, anybody here who knows what is malware, how the attacks happens in the internet? Anybody? Yeah, I think it's a general thing, right? We being using internet, these threats are common. The most common things we hear about, oh, mera OTP chori ho gaya, mera account se itna paisa, they are petty issues. But there are much, much deeper attacks that happens, which are at a national scale, which we common users don't see, but it is very important at a national security level. And we have seen this happening in the Israel war, in the Russian war, at many places, even in the recent Iraq war, where the attackers, instead of starting any physical attacks, they'll start to cripple your networks by attacking your internet resources. What we do is, we build a monitoring system which monitors your entire IT infrastructure and try to see that if anybody trying to sneak into your system in an unauthorized way. If he tries to sneak into a, we will try to figure out what is the activity he's trying to do. And once we figure out, we will try to block him there itself. And again, we have brought in a good AI system here, but because all of this has to happen at a lightning speed, you can't see that, okay, something has happened, okay, I will investigate it tomorrow and come up with the report. there is no time for this, because attackers will do their job in a fractions of second and leave possibly without leaving a trace. So how to do this in an automated fashion? And very quickly, again, all these agentic AI pipelines will come into picture, where we'll collect the logs from your firewalls, your system logs, we analyze them, and using the agents will automatically generate what's going to happen. And another big thing is, those of you who are following SEBI guidelines, certain guidelines, and in the financial sector, right? SEBI has released this cybersecurity guidelines. All the, I don't know what's the word, the traders, maybe traders, they are supposed to submit, they are compliant with this security guidelines. Now, how to test that they are compliant? Many of the traders, they are not cybersecurity savvy, but now this is what our tool we have adapted. Now they will look into, like once they start putting use our tool, it will look into all the cybersecurity postures and then check whether it is compliant with the SEBI guidelines or not. And any incidents happens, it will get automatically reported. In that way, this tool will also helping to secure the financial sector. Okay, this has very many features which we have built as per various requirement from the government agencies and private agencies. We'll just skip this. I want to now highlight on the other part, MS Games. I think Madam from Narsim Munji is there. Madam, I'm sure you might be using Harvard Business School's tools for beer game and other simulations games, right? And how much you pay? For each student, you will be paying some $30 as their subscription fee. And that's one-time use, right? So usually this business schools, major budget goes into that. That's why maybe their admission fees are also sky high. Most of the things in business school happens through case studies, simulations tools, and Harvard Business School tool seems to be a de facto. Like, I mean, we like outside products and we pay whatever they ask and use it. But building this is no big deal. Building a simulation tool, once we know what is this game about, building is very easy. And we being very strong in the software development, this should not be a big deal. So that is where our students took this challenge. Akshatrati was my MTech student, and Anusar Modi is one of our BTech students. He told that, Hare, we were anyway working on a beer game that time. He said, why not? Let's build that simulation ourselves. And then with another faculty, we thought, Arey, this looks like a standard template. You have to build a game. There has to be a platform, a software platform in which, why one game? Anybody come and build their own game and build a simulation game. So what we did is, instead of building a tool or a game, we build a platform where anybody can come and build their simulation tool and put in our framework. So our tool, this software tool, it will help you to build simulation platforms, introduce case studies, and whatever the decision you take, it will analyze that using AI aspects, whether you did a right decisions, your critical thinking was right, and you use all the constructive feedback. And this we have now commercialized. It has been hosted. There is a professor dashboard for this, student startboard this, and any faculty can come and develop their game and host it on our platform. And these are some of the testimonials we have got. This has been now adapted in various business school. And I look forward, Madam from Narsim Munji, like you can also explore this tool. And that's all. So at TCI2, yes, want to just make Professor Zile said that, yes, we used to be looking at something non-AI, like building chips and all. But going forward, I also feel that first we need to get it stronger in AI and start looking into various specific domain. I think that's where the future is going. It's not that we'll first become, I mean, like most of us become engineers and then identify what's our interest is, in which domain. the trend looks like, okay, now learn AI and see that what is the area we can apply it rightly. So with that, I feel that learning AI is very important. We need to, even at a national priority, we need to give it a very high focus to learning. And of course, the core remain core, and we need to strong. But this is something we need to thrust upon everybody to learn, so that we don't miss this AI bus. We did miss many other bus, but this is the one AI bus we should really need to latch on. With this, these are some other testimonials. With this, I will stop here. Thank you to everyone. So this is our center, so photo in IIT Bombay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Hanwal. Thank you so much. So we will, as a closure to this whole session, we would request Dr. Sashmit Patra, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, to give the closing remarks and also his insights into the presentations.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It was a wonderful, riveting session. And having heard with rapt attention and taken notes, I became the student in the session. It was good to be a student for a change. And firstly, wanted to thank Professor Dr. Meena Chintamaneni ji and Professor Mahesh, Mr. Rakesh, Professor Rajesh, Professor Mukesh, Professor Manjesh, for very nice insights that you provided. I believe today, let me first give you my insights as I gathered with reference to the specifics that were spoken about. NMIMS is primarily about academic software. RIOM was primarily about the beautiful product that you're developing relating to health. Sickle cell anemia, in fact, is very relevant to my state of Odisha, because Kandhamal district, Gajapati district, those are districts where sickle cell anemia is quite rapidly and quite difficult for the communities there. ICFI was on AI-led learning. Professor Zele very beautifully talked about chips. And I'm also learning a bit about chips myself. Professor Mukesh, he spoke about Anam.ai. It's wonderful to see this wide range of projects that you're doing. It's very interesting. And Professor Manjesh, of course, talked about TCA2I and the 7 labs, and very interesting perspectives. And I think each of the products, each of the platforms, each of the centers are doing so beautifully, so well. And many congratulations to all of you for doing such wonderful work. And please continue to do such good work. It's very encouraging, very interesting. Now, when I was invited, the mandate that was before me was that this session, the brief was, it is designed to be an impactful platform for institutions to showcase their technology, portfolio, R&D, innovations to industry players. How many industry players here? 1 industry player, 2 industry players. Okay. So I think we'll have to up the industry players more next time. The second, when we talk about products, and this is probably where Sir, you're from industry, right? Okay. And of course, Arupji is there. Yes, sir. So let me ask you a question. Let's make it a conversation, a classroom, because there are more professors here, less industry. So which is the product you would prefer to buy? You saw several products. Let's say they were on offer right now to you. Which one would you buy? Hypothetical. You don't have to put your money in. We won't hold you to that. Sorry? And how much would you buy it for? Who's the owner of that product? Who's the owner of that product? You're the owner of the product? Okay. How much would you sell for? That is important. ICC, when we are sitting here, we come with a product and the industry is going to put a price. So when we put a price and the industry wants to buy something and we say, it's probably not on offer. Why? Because I'm funded by the government. And maybe the government I'll have to check with, that becomes a concern. Just like in Roper, they were wanting to do certain things. The government said, sorry, mera paisa, mera product. Now, I will decide you have to third party to someone and do a non-exclusive license, and then you can sell. So the point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying is, it's wonderful to see such nice activities happening, but I'm slightly scared and worried. Because today, in the product segment, out of 5 presentations that we had, I'm not looking at Narsi Monji per se, but the 5 presentations, 4 are from IITs, which either means that we do not have enough capabilities in this country outside IITs, or B, we do not have enough funding outside the IITs, or we do not have enough intellectual capital outside the IITs, or there are people, but probably they do not have the platform and the infrastructure and the resources. Let's say, for example, Narsi Monji. Ma'am, do you have loans? Narsi Monji is debt-free. And how much of government funding do you get? Not much. Okay, you're self-funded. Okay. Let me give you a brief and why it is important as a nation. We have to consider where we are going. In 2025-26, the IITs received 11,349 crores. The central universities received 16,691 crores. And private universities got 45 crores across the country. The point, ladies and gentlemen, is if we do not have a marriage between the industry and the intellect, then you'll have products being developed in the IITs and the IIMs and the NITs and the central universities, which again will be called on by the government to decide whether you can sell or not to sell, and whom to service and whom not to service, when to service, when not to service, and that will be again within the parameters of it. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, while we do talk about academic tech, a bigger concern arises in our nation of 1.4 billion people. Are we able to broad base it? I give you up, you say, okay, if that is the case, can you tell us another model which probably is workable and probably is outside the domain of academic and industry? Yes, there is. You'd say, what is that model? I have a little small initiative that I do with startups. And in the startup ecosystem, I'll take one example. I won't take many. Let's take the example of T-Hub. T-Hub has 500 startups, 5.82 lakh square feet, 30 plus major VC firms, specialized innovation hubs, prototyping in T-Works, 2,000 seats for startups, 10,000 plus startups, 2 billion plus funding, corporate innovation 600 plus, a T-Bridge with 20 international partners. The concern, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to have more such industry. The infrastructure was given by the government of Telangana. The initial funding was given by the government of Telangana. But thereafter, today they're trying to self-sustain by taking equity partnerships and by ensuring that they're able to take care of it. So at least the operating expenses are handled across this 20 lakh square feet area. So therefore, as industry, because we have 2 industry partners here, it's very important that if you expect that academia will be able to bring about products and then you'll be able to buy it, then probably we'll stay much, much behind. If 11,000 crores are not being, I'm not saying 11,000 crores has been pumped in only for innovation, but if the government tomorrow, and this is where I come to the new law that is going to come in, called as the VBSA, Viksit Bharat Siksha Adhishtan, which will merge the UGC, AICT, NCT, etc. I'm on the Joint Parliamentary Committee of that new law, and we are going through it. Recently, there was a concern that IITs are being formed by acts of parliament, and they're going to get subsumed within this law. So once it gets subsumed within this law, what does it mean for the IITs? For example, an IIT has a ratio, because you put your bid, sir. I'm giving you this information. You can take it back to your home country. One, they had a ratio of 1:10. One faculty, 10 teachers. Sorry, one faculty, 10 students. That was the ratio. One fine day, they got an office order saying it's not going to be 1:10, it's going to be more. And today, IIT Kanpur has 1:16. So the concern, therefore, is policies are changing, dynamics are changing. So even for international Indian institutions of excellence and eminence, what does that mean? There is a freeze in terms of the number of faculty members. So will the young professors here teach more, or they will research more? Because the pressure of new programs is there. There are new courses being launched. So therefore, will innovation come at the cost of teaching, or we will become teaching-led institutions? So those are the concerns that really holds us. Yes, we have the RFID. We have the innovation funds. Yes, we have the AI mission. But then to be able to handle that, how much of GPUs do IITs have today that they need and they can get and they can build on? So it is not a government to government issue. It's a governance issue. It's a policy issue. So therefore, I will close. We have shot well over time. But why it is important for us to deliberate is whether, if industry feels the government will do the heavy lifting, and this is a challenge because I used to be also on the Parliamentary Standing Committee on IT and electronics, and we did semiconductors and stuff. One of the key concerns has been, why is the industry not doing heavy lifting? And I'm not meaning you. I mean the Infosys, the Wipros, the TCSs. They say, give me the product and I will handle it. But no one is worried about that out of every 100 startups, 90 die. That opportunity cost, no one wants to bear. They either hope the entrepreneur will get killed in the bargain, fine. They hope that the government money will get burnt in the bargain, fine. But it should not be on my call. And that is where the problem lies. Why the Chinese are ahead? Because they're burning money directly into the system. Why US is ahead? Because the policy and the ecosystem is very different. Professor Zele, I'm sure, has come back from the US. His diction at times reflected that a bit. Why is it that young professors from IITs went to US and became millionaires? How many IIT professionals today are unicorns? Not on paper. We have many unicorns walking the streets on paper. I'm talking on operating profit. And that is why I think we need to have a radical change in the industry where ICC can be a major platform to bring in industry and tell them there's no free lunch. We won't serve you the buffet and hand you the spoon and then you ladle it on your table. That's not going to happen. There has to be someone who will do the heavy lifting. I hope ICC will continue to do the good work. I thank you all for your time. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. So kindly be on the dais, please. Sorry. So I would request our professors, presenters to be on the dais for the felicitation part. Professor Mahesh T. I would like everyone to join on the dais, please. Professor Mahesh T. from IIT Bombay. Mr. Rakesh Kumar from ICFI Group. Professor Mahesh, please be on the dais because we would like to have a group photograph. Professor Rajesh Zele. Professor Rakesh Kumar, please be on the dais. Acha, all right, sure. Professor Mukesh Saini. Professor Manjesh Hanawal. I will request Mr. Nilanjan Chaudhary to kindly felicitate Sir Dr. Patra. May I? Yes, I would now request all the professors to join on the dais for a group photo. Thank you so much.
The pictures will be sent by you guys, or can I get the pictures from the top directly? No, I will send it to you.
He's outside. You come. Professor Kumar is here only. You come to the 202. 202.
Waiting.